At present, the station has about just shy of 100,000, but the overall station is designed for the future to be able to handle 110,000 passengers per peak. And so the additional capacity of this ticket hall quadruples that of the original tube ticket hall, which itself doubled in capacity as part of the works for the Channel Tunnel railing.
The construction was very, very interesting. One of the most interesting features of the Western Ticket Hall. St Pancras Chambers buildings, which you see on the left-hand side here, we're quite concerned that they would settle because we had to dig down underneath the foundations to form the ticket hall space. On the right-hand side down here, there's the Metropolitan Circle Line tunnels, and as you dig down to form the basement, the concern was that the tunnels would sort of displace outwards like that and relax out, which would be a concern for running the trains and people going through there.
The biggest challenges, I would say, were the surrounding structures and infrastructure that surrounds this site. The Western Ticket Hall is constructed in the forecourt of St Pancras Station. The forecourt, which, if you looked above ground here, or one level above ground, you would find has been reinstated back to its original configuration of 140 years ago. So the only thing you wouldn't see there now is horses and carriage, but the rest is still the same.
It was required to excavate into Euston Road outside, and to do that a temporary bridge was formed for Euston Road, so all the traffic ran over the temporary bridge whilst the ticket hall was expanded and constructed. Some other interesting features about the construction of that linkage was that to form this passageway which goes across the top of the Metropolitan Circle Line, we had to take off the top of the old Victorian brick arch tunnel, and this had to be done on a sequence of possessions which involved closing down the Metropolitan Circle Line over successive weekend closures. The process was to take off about 2 to 3 metres of the tunnel every weekend and replace it with a flatter concrete section, which if you go down to the Metropolitan Circle Line you can actually see that feature in the tunnel now.
Part of the station just below me to the right here, that was constructed over one of the existing Metropolitan, Hammersmith and City and Circle Line tunnels, which was the first Metropolitan Railway subsurface underground Metropolitan Railway of its kind in the world. And so we were working on 150-year-old assets, and similarly with St Pancras Chambers above us or alongside us, it too is a 140-year-old listed, Grade 1 listed building. So the movements and tolerances were very closely monitored.
How we demonstrated it to third parties such as English Heritage, who have an interest in preserving the fabric of it, we had to present that analysis to them and then set up an appropriate structural monitoring regime comprising of monitoring the facade of the building. So then whilst the construction is actually being carried out, you're demonstrating that the building isn't settling in excess of what you expect it to. What we found out is that the facade of St Pancras Chambers, it moves more from the sun going around every day, so that the facade sort of expands and contracts with the sun more than it's settled because of the work. So in that regard, it was a unanimous success really that we managed to control the movements to the building.
I think the general public appreciate the station a lot. Certainly when we opened in 2006, the looks on people's faces were tremendous, because King's Cross was a station you wouldn't look around at and admire originally. It was just somewhere to get through as quickly as possible, whereas this does give you somewhere to stop and admire the space and the volume and the quality of finish. And judging by their reactions, I think we've done very well.